I would love to know how you see the voice as not only a personal therapeutic tool for emotional alchemy, but even collectively. What is your grand vision? What could happen if more and more women come online or come into connection with their singing voices as the dimension of themselves that they now have a relationship with?
So I firmly believe in the power of rites of passage, these initiations, that things don't come to you easily. I mean, they do, but you can always go so much deeper. And the more that you give yourself to that thing, the more it'll give itself to you. And so that's what I've discovered with the voice, is that it has its own essence. There is this collective voice, I feel, in a sense, this collective roar for all the women who have been shut up before us, for the women that will come after us, for the women who are getting killed in Iran for not wearing their hijabs or for wearing their hair down and wild, for the women who are getting literally their genitals sewn shut, who could not speak and say stop. There is a whole collective voice, especially with women, I feel, that has been just shoved and suppressed. For the women that have been raped and could not speak because their mouths were muffled, we are singing for them, for that collective, for their freedom. We are bringing them home. This is our roar. This is our reclamation of the sacred feminine through our voice. It is so potent and powerful. And we leave ripples throughout the collective. We leave an imprint for generations. It is the most powerful tool that we have, because it is within our body and because it is so vulnerable and so intimate. We have meditation and we have yoga, but it has become quite common and mainstream to work out your body or move your body. It's kind of more mechanical, it's a bit more task oriented, but the voice requires such depth and such devotion to really touch the alchemy of source, to really feel that veil becoming more thin and feeling your connection to all that is and your power. It really takes such deep emotion and cathartic release. So it is so important for me to invoke these cathartic scenarios, because essentially, as a human species, it seems like it is easier to love ourselves through the eyes of another. If somebody else reflects to us, oh, you're so amazing, you're so beautiful. Maybe not for all of us, but it hits differently than if you were to say it for yourself. It's almost more believable. And so I love invoking cathartic scenarios where you have to sing for a purpose, where it is almost a rites of passage, initiation, so that you can really feel all of the layers of how should I sound like? Is this right? All that mind chatter, just peel back to the pure source of that, just that grit, that pure feeling, the feeling in the gut, the sacred feminine, because I feel truly like deep within us all as a human species, within men and women, but specifically women as being like the sourcers of life itself. We are the threshold between life and death. We bear life from our wombs. We choose. We want to create life. No man would exist without a woman. We are creatrix. The power of creativity right within us, accessible to us all the time. I feel it's a matter of not learning, but simply remembering how to access these codes that are already within us and creating that spaciousness, that container of potency, of power, of depth, of purpose, of to really connect to that source. And for me in my journey, the most potent revelations I've had with my voice was through retreats, through my teachers having cathartic scenarios where it was like my life depended on how much I was able to use my voice. And sometimes it doesn't mean being hard or fast or strong. The voice is such a feminine thing. You can be strong, but also be very soft and delicate. In our Western culture, we're taught do, work harder to get results. But with the voice, it's such a feminine thing that you can really refine it and be strong and be powerful, but in a very soft, soul trembling way. There's much depth and emotional alchemy to be unraveled, especially when relating it to all those women who have not had the chance to have their voices heard like we can now.
I wonder what you would say to a woman who is intrigued by what we're talking about, but also feels like, well, I could never do that. That sounds like cringeworthy. How do you recommend that women interact with the shame that we have kept ourselves in this grid of behavioral appropriateness and avoidance of our own vulnerability and tenderness because of this maintenance of that shame wall, as I would call it? So any ways that you would recommend people begin or enter?
So the best thing that the voice has taught me is to love and accept every aspect of my being, even when it's most difficult. So the more that I fall in love and accept every part of myself, the more I hear it in my voice. It's such a reflection of my soul. And I think that depth that you're hearing, that range, the highs, the lows, the big, the soft, the quiet, I would say to this woman who is going through shame and vulnerability and feeling uncomfortable, feeling like this might be too far out of reach, to really exercise your ability to feel safe communing with the depths of your being, because it's not about perfection. We're not striving for perfection. It's not about sounding beautiful or sounding perfect. I believe that this comes from this shame, ultimately is sourced from a precondition of thinking that we need to sound a certain way or be a certain way. Society has bred us to be almost like automutants, perfect to the T, like do this, do that, cross your T's, do this. And it's very inauthentic. I celebrate authenticity. I celebrate depth. I celebrate full spectrum, raw, humanness over perfection, 110%. I think that this is a part of creating this sort of new earth paradigm. This is a part of the reclamation of our system, of our conditioning, is turning authenticity as the new perfection, depth as the new perfection. The reason why I've been able to reach so much of a range in my voice is because I've sat with my pain and I've made it my best friend, because I've sat with my grief and I've made love to it, because I've sat with my shame and I've kissed it and sang to it. I've turned all of those things into a song. I've learned to alchemize the most sticky, raw, uncomfortable bits of being human and sing it home. Just sing to it in a way where it just feels good to my being and it reminds me who I am. And it doesn't always sound beautiful, and that's okay. It's that journey of accepting the full spectrum of your raw human nature and loving yourself every step of the way through the voice is what actually shapes and refines the voice into such a crystal. It didn't sound beautiful in the beginning. It became beautiful because I learned to love myself more and accept myself more in every way. And I learned to let go of my expectations, my attachments to how I should sound, and accepted where I'm at now. And it's a continuous humbling journey of letting go of how I should sound and how I should be. But the creatures that really inspire me the most is the kids. They're not singing to sound beautiful. They're not singing to hit a certain key, they're singing to connect to source. They have such a force of nature in their eyes, and they're so primitive and so deeply connected. And when I look at those kids, I'm like, let's go. Let's sing each other home. And it is my favorite thing in-person retreats with women, as you were describing earlier, how you felt this hunger of, what is that? Take me with you. I want to go. That is the essence of the in-person retreats, is seeing each other and feeling each other skin to skin, eyes to eyes, just voice to voice, no words, no concept, no mind, no story, just pure, come on, sister, let's sing together, and just singing each other